hey, club's going to go up because a lot of things happen in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? I'm Shay Cornett. He's Chris Canty. He's Marcus Spears. You know him. He is Stephen A. Smith. This is First Take. Drew Brees is also going to join us later on in the show. Let's talk about what happened last night before we open the playbook for the rest of it. Week 4 came to a close, obviously. Miami beat the Jets to get their first win of the season, but it came with, unfortunately, a loss as well. As you see, Tyreek Hill carted off the field in the third quarter with what looked like really a bad knee injury. And today, we do have confirmation from one Adam Schefter. He posted on X earlier this morning, and he said, quote, in addition to dislocating his knee, Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill also tore multiple ligaments in his knee, including his ACL. Hill remains hospitalized and will undergo surgery today, meaning Tuesday. Now we have to open. This means for the Dolphins, obviously, and Tyreek Hill's future going forward. And so, Marcus, I'll go to you first. A really unfortunate injury, obviously, for one Tyreek Hill, but also for the Dolphins, who base their entire offense around this man.
Shay, you used the perfect word. It's unfortunate. Because last night I felt like they got in a groove with Tyreek. They found him some opportunities to get open. He was using his run after catch ability, and you saw kind of this lightning strike from this team that we've been looking forward to. Now, the Jets ain't world beaters on defense, but we've seen this offense operate in that vein and have a tremendous amount of success. And I also thought with the addition of Darren Waller and Tyreek Hill being on the field, this would put Tua in a situation where we don't have to worry about him with the second read. You got a big fella, just go up and make a play if you get in trouble. So Tyreek going down is catastrophic for this team from the standpoint of how teams defend you. Now how people come into games not having to worry about him and wrecking a football game. They still got Waddle, and it's still Waller, who looks like he's going to be a big part of this offense. But we know why Tyreek Hill got $100+ million as a wide receiver. It's because people are terrified when they play against him and the potential of him breaking the game wide open.
Yeah, we've never seen Tua be good without Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
We've seen Tyreek Hill be good with other quarterbacks. And when you ask me big picture, what does this mean for the Miami Dolphins? It means that their head coach and general manager probably going to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means. Coming into this season, Mike McDaniel had the third shortest odds of any coach to be fired first. And I have seen nothing through the first 4 weeks to change that for me. I'm not going to get enamored by what I saw last night because I think that had a whole lot to do with the Jets being shorthanded on defense, missing a first-round draft pick and an all-pro player in their front seven. And then, of course, offensively, the miscues. You're talking about them having 3 fumbles in a 4-possession span, 2 of those being in plus territory, 1 being in the shadow of the end zone for the Dolphins going in.
Penalties.
If Braylon Allen doesn't fumble the ball and they score a touchdown, that's a 14-point swing right there in the game alone. So you had 2 plus territory turnovers, and you got no points out of those drives. And then you fumble the ball coming out of halftime. It was an absolute embarrassment. So to me, that game was a lot more about the Jets losing it than it was about the Dolphins winning it. That is more good game and less good sign. I am not optimistic about what the future holds for the Miami Dolphins because they just lost their best player last night and the identity of that football team.
Well, let's put it where the ghosts can get it. Season's over. I mean, we thought it was over before. It damn sure's over now. They ain't doing that.
Yeah.
I was about to say, it was over before.
I mean, it looked like it was over before. It's definitely over now. The Dolphins season is done. The Jets, Aaron Glenn, my brother, y'all just look disorganized. It's like you're a new head coach. You're the former defensive coordinator with the Detroit Lions. The star that came attached to him and his name and taking the job. We saw the Jets on national TV last night look like the bad news bears. Just every error that you could have come up with, it was just horrible, okay? And so I mean, we're gonna be talking about Aaron Glenn. They don't change how they look. It's one thing to lose. It's another thing to look ill prepared. That's how the New York Jets looked last night. Let's get that out the way. Back to the Dolphins. We got to remember that Tyreek Hill, even though I know the Dolphins season is over, let's hold off for a second on Mike McDaniels and Chris Greer in this regard. Tyreek Hill was enduring the worst 2-stretch period of his career. Over the last 21 games, he had 1,224 yards and like 7 touchdowns in 21 games. That's not the Tyreek Hill we know and love. He didn't have a 1,000-yard season last year, even though he played all 17 games, okay? 4 years prior to that, the brother was just electrifying, right? You're going to be 32 years of age, okay? So at the start of 2026, you ain't going to be ready to play then, okay? So we got all of that out the way. Now here's where it gets interesting, though, for the Dolphins and their coach. If somehow, some way, you look better without Tyreek Hill,
Right.
than you did with him, okay? And the ball is spread around a bit more. And let's say, dare we say, they find a way to be effective. I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay.
All right? I don't think it's going to happen. I think Mike McDaniel's done. I think Chris Greer's done. But what I'm saying is if they look better without Tyreek Hill, then that's usually a good sign for the coach. I can't see that happening. But who knows?
I know you played on Law and Order, but you sound like one of them defense attorneys for Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel.
I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be.
Because they've been there long enough, and they haven't had nearly the results that the organization should have.
It's unacceptable.
The investment that they've made in the quarterback, the investment that they've made in the roster, the cash that owner Stephen Ross has spent, for them not to have a playoff win on the ledger, that's an embarrassment. Yeah. For them to perform the way they have through the first quarter of the season.
Last 2 years. They missed the playoffs the last 2 years.
Exactly. And the quarterback missing a third of the season has a lot to do with that. So you're saying Tyreek Hill didn't perform up to expectations. It's hard to do that when you don't have the quarterback that you expect
coming
into the season.
Which is why he shouldn't have left Kansas City.
Well, Stephen A., now you're having an entirely different argument.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of those things, I don't think anything that happens to the Dolphins, including losing Tyreek Hill, is going to provide Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer cover if they don't have any tangible results.
Can I just say, though, last year, like coming after the season, we didn't even know if Tyreek Hill was going to come back to the Dolphins. He was like flirting with maybe going somewhere else. I remember him sipping his smoothie during it, like making it all chill. So I don't know that him and Tua have this like great relationship anyways. Like maybe it's a Stephon Diggs situation. I'm not comparing. I mean, listen, Tyreek Hill is one of the best receivers in the league. I'm not trying to say that any team that doesn't have him isn't going to be worse without him. But maybe it is a little bit of addition by subtraction.
Well, your point is perfect because we're not having a new conversation even when they had Tyreek Hill on the roster. Whether Mike McDaniel or Chris Greer wouldn't be there anymore. So pre-injury, we was talking about how long would they make it.
Yeah.
Right? Now we're talking about actually on the field football production, which hurts you in that regard because he's such a good player. But ultimately, this general manager and head coach was under the most scrutiny coming into the season as anybody. One, because of the capital spent on this football team. You think about, we always focus on offense with Miami. They pay people on defense.
Yeah, they do.
And some people gone that they paid on defense. Xavier Howard. They had guys, Christian Wilkins, they let him go in free agency, went to Vegas. So a lot of things have transpired. I think Chris Greer, as the general manager, has made good decisions about good players. For some particular reason, when they get to Miami, the performance slumps. Tyreek has been right.
Not for some you would know. We know the reason. We know
they
the
get
reason.
to Miami and it's just
South Beach is undefeated.
It's a little different.
But that's the conundrum, right? Like we've always talked about the offensive line and their struggles, but ultimately, when we've looked at moves that's been made for the Miami Dolphins, we've said, damn, that's pretty good. We had the long wait for Tua in his contract to see if he was the guy. I know they were taking their time to try to figure that out. That hasn't fully come to fruition. You can see glimpses of why Tua got paid when he's in rhythm and doing well. Miami is in a bad spot. And I think it's more about being in a bad spot because the guys you brought over in free agency, you haven't got what you wanted out of them.
Listen, you know it's bad because I don't know. Listen, I watched Miami. I mean, they rolled up there, you know. They were 0-3, right? And I mean, even before they went 0-3, they lost game. Like, I'm sitting there, you know how you watching the game, you're on YouTube, you got the 4 games on the screen, or you watching the game, right, fellas? So a few weeks ago, I'm watching the Miami Dolphins, and you know, you turn away. And I came back, and I'm like, damn, they won the game. Why did I say that? Because these cats are in front of the camera doing post-game interviews. They got smiles on their face. They good.